YouTube streets. It's popping. Black sector. The upper echelon black sector, man. This shit is... man, I'm eating some of my words that I did on my last video, yo. You know, whenever something's going down between two individuals, it's usually in the best interest of yourself to give your take once you get all sides of the story, once you hear from both sides. And in my previous video, I said that Corrie didn't believe when he said that Zoe Williams was the weakest link. I said he didn't really believe that, and I was wrong, because 5150 just dropped last night, a few hours ago, and Corrie's standing on that shit. Like, Corrie not saying nothing inflammatory or anything like that. You know, Corrie always gonna talk his shit. That's just who he is. But he's standing on his principles, man, and he's standing on the idea of him believing that Zoe. I still don't believe it, but you know, from Corrie's perspective, he's still referring to Zoe as being the weakest link. And to wrap it up in a nutshell, if you got your real good homie, right? But you got skeletons inside your closet, and your homie is the one that's like really holding you down and looking out for you. If you got some skeletons or whatever, or you know, if you have some things to say to your homie because you think he's wrong in a situation, but you know for a fact he's holding you down with some extreme shit, some things that's even more serious, then it's better that you pull your homeboy to the side, and in a private setting and in a private situation, you talk to that person instead of trying to put them on blast on Front Street. Now, as I said in my last video, this is YouTube, and a lot of this stuff is it's put out in Front Street because it's for the sake of entertainment. So I get that. But when you know your homeboy got the cannon for you, as far as like what they know about you, man, you have to be more tactful. And I think in this instance, man, Zoe let his emotions get the best of him yet again. And everything that is happening, everything that is like that's blowing up, now that I really like fully hear both sides, yeah, there's different ways that Corrie could have handled it, you know, but like the Aries Spirit situation happened 4 years ago. You know what I mean? I never knew that Corrie Holcomb paid $20,000 for a lawyer. You know what I mean? In order to help out the situation. I didn't that Zoe caused. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I didn't know that the lawyer was trying to get in, and Corrie claims that the lawyer was trying to get in contact with Zoe to get a statement as far as what happened with the Aries situation, and Zoe just never just avoided it. I never knew. I don't know how true that is, but let's just go with the assumption that it's true. I never knew that. But one thing they both agree upon is that the situation cost $20K, and Corrie paid the $20K, and that's something that they both agree upon. So we do know that much is true. I never knew that, but ultimately, like a lot of folks are saying that it was Corrie's fault, and you know he's messy with how, as far as like him putting people's business out and stuff like that. But in this just this one particular instance between Zoe and Corrie, the one thing that we all have seen, for the people that watch, you know, that follow Zoe Williams and that follow Corrie Holcomb, is, you know, Zoe has definitely publicly lost his temper, and he's blown up in various ways, in more ways than one. He'll be the first person to admit to that. You know, him losing his temper has been a common source of a lot of issues that he's recently had. The first time I saw Zoe lose his cool, I want to say it was 2014, and Tommy Sotomayor was having a program. And that's when Tommy and Jason Black used to be friends. And matter of fact, it was the same day that Tommy created like the Justice League of black YouTubers and black, celebrities or whatever, because this is when Tommy was renting this mansion in Hollywood, and he had Tariq in person. He had Tariq Nasheed, Jeff Brown, and Zoe Williams himself. I think it was somebody else. I can't remember. But I know like Jason Black even called in, and then later on that night, Tommy did an extended show with Jason Black, and then he got Zoe Williams was on the phone, and I forget what they was talking about, but eventually Zoe Williams said something that made Jason Black kind of annoyed, and I remember the quote, and Jason Black was like, "This is getting all kind of feminine." Okay, you know what I mean, and then Zoe was like, "Man, eat a dick. Shut the fuck up. You trying to say I'm feminine?" You know what I mean? That's the first time I really saw Zoe blow up, and I was like, damn, I didn't know this dude had this type of edge on him. So that's the first time it happened. And then the second time that I saw him blow up, like if Zoe saw Jason Black in person, that would have been a fight, straight up. The second time was with the Aries Spirit situation. The third, and we all saw that was all over TMZ and MT Media Takeout, World Star, all that shit. Then the third time I saw him blow up was with the Freeze Love situation. So historically has allowed his temper, you know what I mean, to get in the way, or to, you know what I'm saying, to be a detriment. Oh my God, what the hell? Hold on, I'm driving right now. These people are driving like assholes. I'm sorry. So Zoe has allowed his temper and his temperament to get him into precarious situations more times than not. Like if you think about, if Zoe, and I don't mean it like I said, they both Zoe and Corrie have fault in this situation, but ultimately, man, now that I really look at it, and now that Corrie broke down, and like, yes, Corrie was petty, but he's a comedian, he's gonna be petty. But ultimately, if Zoe would have just checked himself, and Zoe knows this. Zoe's on my friends list. He probably see this or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I'm nobody, so whatever. I'm not disparaging. I love both Zoe and Corrie. But I'm just calling it down the middle like it is. Not even how I see it, like how it is. If Zoe would have curbed his if he would have just, like, the whole Aries situation, if he would have just controlled his temper, you know what I mean, and just kept it to the words, he wouldn't be on income. He wouldn't owe Corrie $20,000 for that from that particular situation. That would be a non-factor, non-issue. This would not be a situation where Corrie could throw back in his face once things went awry. You know what I mean? But he brought that on himself, and knowing that you owe Corrie that much money, you know what I mean? Like, and knowing that you owe Corrie so much, just being on his platform for such a long time, and Corrie holding him down, they help each other out. But like ultimately, like, Corey's the guy that's in Hollywood getting the bread. You know what I'm saying? And Zoe's still trying to find his way. There's a certain loyalty that comes with that. So now, like, I could understand why Corrie was so hurt that Zoe was taking Grady's side in that situation. And there's nothing wrong with taking Grady's side. But there's certain things that you can do in Front Street, and then there's certain things that you can do behind closed doors. And I feel like things would have went a lot more different if Zoe handled it behind closed doors. But like I said, it is for show, and this is for the public. This is entertainment. So they're going, when some shit pop off, this is what people are gonna do. But you got to pick and choose your moments. And like, defending Grady was one thing, but even the show before that, before Zoe and Corrie had to blow up, Zoe was defending Grady in that episode. But I think just like once Zoe called Corrie like one of the biggest hypocrites that we know, that's what kind of like, that was like the straw that broke Corey's back. Because it's like, you got to see it like, damn, yo, this nigga fought in my studio. He didn't maintain his cool. Cost me $20,000. Ducked the lawyer and this is why what Corrie said, duck the lawyer when the lawyer was trying to get at you. Defending Grady, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be my mans. I'm holding you down. You defending this dude that you don't even know. And on top of all this, you calling me a hypocrite, and then you saying that you don't promote my stuff on my platform when I've been letting you come on my platform for years and bringing you on stage and letting you sell books at my different shows and all this stuff. Now, I want to see if Zoe has a rebuttal to this to see how true that is. We'll see. But if you just look at it from that aspect, yo, man, I see Corrie's side. I really do. Like I said, could Corrie have been more tactful with how we said it? Yes. Could Corrie not be as so expressive? Like when Corrie talking about his dirt, I be cheating on my wife doing my thing. We be fucking them hoes. For him to include other people, is that the right thing for Corrie to do? I would argue no, but from Corrie's perspective, he's seeing it as like, yo, I'm one of them real niggas. I'm a real nigga, and this is how I do, and I just assume the niggas that's around me is like that, and it's my fault for thinking that everybody who's in my circle thinks exactly like the way I do. So that's the way Corrie took blame in that aspect. But if Zoe controls his temper, none of this shit is out here, man. At least not with these particular issues, man. Now Corrie throws extra sauce on it, as far as expounding on like Zoe's living situation and what have you. And it's not me putting Zoe on blast. I'm just saying what Corrie said. Like all you gotta do is watch the video, expounding on Zoe's situation. And I won't even go into it. If you want to know, you can just watch. You can watch the videos, and you can watch the video if you really want to know and do it for yourself. I'm not here to trash or disparage Zoe. I'm just trying to figure out, how this situation could have been handled, or how it could have been quelled, and actually like where it came from. So that relationship is over. Like, even though Corrie say, I still got love for you, you bitch ass nigga, but they could never, Zoe could never go back in that situation, man, and just be friends and buddy, not on a public level, not like that. They're both hurt. They both wished it didn't go that way, but as stated before, man, this was just a situation where shit was building up over time. You know what I mean? And it was kind of on Corrie's level. If that Aries Spears bothered Corrie so much, Corrie did celebrate it a lot. That's why my man Zoe beat that ass with the elbow. So Corrie's talking in a respect that he was celebrating that shit. We didn't know it cost him 20 G's. We didn't know Corrie was really upset about it. And the whole thing is, Corrie felt that Zoe wasn't capable of paying back that debt. That's why he said, you don't owe me nothing. And like, how would Corrie have confidence that Zoe was going to have the ability to pay the debt if he was ducking the lawyer when the lawyer was trying to get at him and talk to him? So it's just, it's unfortunate, but they didn't come to blows, they didn't fight or anything like that. But if you got skeletons in your closet with your homie that your homie helped you through, and then you have a disagreement with your homie, man, you have to tread lightly with how you deal with your homeboy as far as calling him out, because that shit could blow up in your face. And it's funny because I was talking to my homeboy the other day about this shit, and I was like, yo, Zoe kind of, Zoe should have just pulled him to the side, man. You know what I'm saying? And talked about this behind closed doors. And I was saying that, and it's funny because I watched the new Corrie video today, and damn it if Corrie didn't say that shit fucking verbatim. And this is what I said even before I saw Corrie's explanation. This is like, because I also said, even when Zoe was saying, Corrie, you should handle these things behind closed doors with Grady. That's your man. You introduce us. You introduced him to us all. You probably should have pulled him to the side and had this conversation. But on Zoe's end, it's kind of hypocritical because you're saying that you should have pulled Grady to the side and had this discussion, but at the same time, you publicly call Corrie one of the biggest hypocrites that you know. So it's like, on the one hand, you're telling him to do this one thing that you yourself aren't doing. It's just like giving people advice on how to control their temper and stuff like that, but you always lose your temper. You know? You have to lead by example, not just by words. And like, listen, I'm the biggest shit. I'm one of the most biggest fuck ups I know. So I never really try to come at with people on how they should conduct their lives unsolicited, because I still got to get my life together. They, you know, like they say, like, you know, Zoe is so intelligent with all of his knowledge, but he hasn't really figured out how to monetize that intelligence and that knowledge. And just because you're smart, just because you're book smart, it doesn't necessarily mean that you understand the right hustles in order to be successful from a monetary standpoint. And as I said before, I'm a prime example of that, because a lot of people regard me as being an intelligent individual, but I still have not figured out how to translate that into major monetary success. Or maybe I just don't have the desire and the drive to translate that, even though society tells you that's what you're supposed to be, rich and famous and all this good shit. But a lot of us aren't driven like that, man, in that aspect or respect. But you still have to like figure out how to translate your passions into the earth feeding you and taking care of you and putting you in a position to feed and take care of other people, you know? Like, and Zoe still, he sells his books. He has self-help, but like he's like, some people just bloom faster than others. Like Rodney Dangerfield really didn't blow up and get successful until his mid-50s. You know what I mean? So we all got different time time clocks and different life situations and different avenues of motivation. So I ain't gonna get on Zoe about that. But ultimately, everything that's happening to him right now, man, self-induced. Corrie always gonna be Corrie consistently. And maybe Corrie was just showing a lot of restraint, like, damn, this nigga owe me 20 G's. Maybe Corrie was ready, like, and this is just a theory of mine. Maybe as soon as the Zoe Aries shit went down and he cost him 20 G's, maybe Corrie wanted to be done with him and get rid of him at that particular point. But let me hold on to this nigga to see if he'll pay me back. And that's just a theory of mine. That's just a conspiracy theory of mine. Because Corrie never wrote it. Corrie didn't really write him off. He's like, yo, we can always be cool or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, just recognize the hand that fed you and helped you out. You know what I mean? And if you have issues with me like that, on that deep level, you think I'm hypocritical, you're quickly forgetting how much of an impact I've been on your life. We've been impacts in each other's lives. But I never tried to put you on blast on Front Street like that for defending a motherfucker who I think is a shitty motherfucker. Like, either have my back or just stay quiet and let's talk about it behind the scenes. So it was like, Corrie gonna be a nigga about it. Like, he got a t-shirt that says, when I hit a lick, I got you. And then it has like a picture of Goofy saying it. And you know, if you know Chicago slang, a goofy is just like an offie or a corny motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker that ain't shit. So he took one of Zoe's quotes and shit, and he monetized it. He flipped it and made it into a t-shirt. People gonna buy that shit. Corrie take bad situations and he flip it. That's a fucking hustler's mentality. And then on top of that, Corrie changed the whole intro song. The intro song is totally different. And at the end of the intro song, he's like, nigga, I told you knew some shit. So he did an impersonation of Zoe Williams' voice. So he monetizing it and he being a nigga about it. And I really thought that Corrie was going to be more contrite and apologetic. But I did not realize how much Corrie put into Zoe. As far as, like, he was talking about giving Zoe the cab before Zoe got his car, giving him cab rides to the studio, buying him hotels whenever he had comedy shows, like out of town and stuff, and Zoe was with him and shit, paying for hotels and what have you. And I'm sure he probably fed him and all kinds of stuff. I didn't know. I did not know, man. And I think Corrie calling him the weakest link because maybe he caters to Zoe more in monetary ways than he caters to like a Darlene or Marcus or Craig Fax. I don't know. I'm just speculating right here, man. But I still think that publicly calling Zoe the weakest link, I think that's still, even if you believe that, I think certain lines you don't cross. But that's been the story of Corey's comedic career. He always saying some vile, in his comedy, like he always saying some vile, inflammatory shit. Like that's how he's always been known. So in a small way, him just standing on his square and being like, this is who the fuck I am, you gotta respect that. You can't, you don't have to like that, but that's just something to be respected. He didn't backtrack, he didn't go backwards. This is how I feel. Like, nigga, you trying to call me a hypocrite and saying I'm ungrateful and I don't promote my stuff. Like, what are you talking about? As much as I bring you on, you know, I've had you on my platform for 10 years. You know, you mentioned your book and stuff like that for over 10 years, bringing you to shows, hotels, feeding you, doing all this shit. And you bringing up the Rizza Islam situation, like, the man Corey got a point. I just, the main issue I have is just the weakest link comment, but that after all the things that Corey did for Zoe, to be called just a major hypocrite, and for Zoe just not to have the patience to talk to Corey behind the scenes and not interject in that situation and just let him and Grady go at it, I get it. I understand. Like, you might not like Corey's reaction or the venom, the way in which he did it, but Corey got a point. And Zoe's the one that uses is cool. Zoe's the one that had the physical altercation. With as much shit that we see Corey talk, the only physical altercation I've ever seen Corey have on camera was when he was on Jerry Springer in 1997 when he held the butch lesbian by her shoulders, and I think all that shit is scripted anyway. So I don't know, man. Like, the relationship will never be mended the way it once was. I think the only way the relationship could be somewhat repaired, and it's still going to have flaws to it, but the one way it could greatly improve, Zoe got to up that paper, man. That 20 G's, man. And Zoe has a big enough following. He has enough people, like, from what I heard, his fans raised money and helped him get a car, which is awesome. If you're a content creator, you out here and people want to hear you give your opinion and put your neck out on the line, we need that. You need the support of the community. The community is what produces entertainment, period. That's why movie stars and millionaires and all that shit, they getting their money from the community in an indirect way. But YouTubers and content creators, that's just a microcosm of these major entertainers. It's the same shit, it's the same concept. Even politicians get funded by the public. So the whole idea of you less of a person because you get donations, everybody gets donations in one way, shape, form, or fashion, period, man, directly or indirectly. So shit, I wish people were sending me money. I wish I had a big enough voice and personality in social media where people were funding my life in order for me to really push out this character. I'm still trying to figure out a way in that motherfucker. No matter, and I'm dropping content and videos every day. I saw all these people drop Corrie Holcomb versus Zoe Williams videos, and everybody got at least 1,000 views minimum. Quick as a motherfucker. I've dropped it, deleted it, and re-dropped it, and I think the most views I ever got on it was 20 fucking views. And it's the hottest topic on Black YouTube right now. And I can't, I got the fucking, I got the thumbnail and everything. And for some reason, my shit ain't popping off. My shit ain't popping. And I feel like I'm entertaining. I feel like I hold a good conversation. I'm good at talking. With the light skin perspective, man, we get it in on that fucking podcast, man. But we don't get that much views on that shit either, man. So for him to like figure that shit out, And to have that following, man, if he can get that 20 G's, which I feel like he can. So I think Zoe's channel got like 60, 70,000 subscribers now. If all of them subscribers in one day gave this dude $1, he would have Corrie Holcomb's $60,000 plus a little bit of interest. You know what, Corrie? I appreciate you helping me out in that situation, and I probably was a little ungrateful, and I was too reliant on, or I was just too confident that you would just take care of the situation, and I really believed you when you said I didn't have to pay you back. But you know what? You gave me 20 grand. Here's 25. Here's 27,000. It's the least that I can do for you helping me out in that situation. That would greatly mend and repair it. Greatly mend and prepare that situation. 1 second.